again, and we are on chapter 4. Okay, now in chapter 4, we're going to discuss how to recruit potential students. And once again, these are one-on-one students, okay? Teaching one-on-many students is a different strategy. If you want to know about that, please contact me. Okay, so step 1, and I'm going to be looking at the book a lot because I wrote a lot of steps in here. Okay, step 1, when I'm teaching one-on-one students, I prefer to go through an introduction company. So for example, and I talk about this in the book, and I also have it in the appendices, table 5. Table 5. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Okay, so I like to go through introduction companies. My favorite one is AgoPass. Shout out to AgoPass. They are so awesome. And I also like Enjoy English, and I also love ABC Kata. I find those to be the absolute best ones. I've had the longest students with those 3 companies, and I think AgoPass, I've had the longest student with them. Now, when you go through an introduction company, what happens is that it's kind of like applying for a job. You'll send in your resume, you'll send in your guidance card, which is your foreign alien registration card, and maybe a picture of yourself, and then they'll review your application, then they'll set up an interview. Usually the interview is online, it's on Skype, and then they'll start to kind of promote you on their website to students, which is really, really great. So this is the great thing about them, they do the promotion for you. So then when you have a student, they will meet with you and the student, and then you'll have a demo lesson, okay? Now, let's go to step number 2 before I continue. All right, now, once you've passed the interview process with them, your profile will be available on their website. So this is where the free marketing comes. And also, this is of no cost to you. I love introduction companies because the students actually pay them for your services. So the students are going to stay long term because they're actually paying money to have you as their teacher. So these are very dedicated students. I prefer this than meeting students off the street, for example, and that's for one-on-one lessons. One-on-group lessons, that's a different strategy, okay? All right, now, you'll set up your profile, and then what happens? Just a moment. Yes, you'll set up your profile, and then you'll have an interview. Well, not an interview. You'll have a demo lesson with the student who chose your profile. Okay. All right, number 3. Now, once the student wants to meet you, you will offer them a demo lesson. Okay, so that's actually here. You offer them a demo lesson. Now, the thing with AgoPass and Enjoy English, they will actually go with you, which I prefer. I mean, I can speak Japanese, but when I'm doing business with Japanese people, I prefer to have a Japanese person there. It just makes the process a lot smoother. It's just way better for me. If you don't want to do that, I mean, that's absolutely fine, but AgoPass and ABC Kata and Enjoy English, they all send their consultants, which I think is a great thing. All right, so let's move on to step 4. Now, if you have met the students, you need to kind of gauge their seriousness. And I talk about this a lot in the book. That's why I'm kind of reading now. If they, and this doesn't really happen, but if they cancel on you once, that's like an indication that they're not serious, or they are serious, but their job is like really too busy. And that's an indication of how much they're going to be available for you to teach them. Now remember, you're self-employed, and we talked about this in the last video in chapter 3. You're self-employed, so you need somebody who's going to be there, okay? But if they don't cancel, then that is great. Okay, now what I like to do at the, so then step 4, sorry guys, I'm reading this, but it's a lot to go through. Step 4, demo lesson. Yes, okay, so at the meeting, or the demo lesson, so here you set up the demo. Here you have the meeting or the demo lesson. So I like to do pronunciation, I like to do question drilling, I like to introduce my own teaching materials. I have shown those to you guys in the past. I don't have any on me right now, but I do my own workbooks. I'll probably show you in the next in the next few videos. But anyways, so I like to show them that so that I can get a gauge of where their English is, and I need to know who they are. I need to know what their needs are so that I can help them meet them. Okay, so that is step 4. Step 5 is, let's see. Oh, yes, okay. So I talk about this. Step 5, at the first month mark, I treat the first 4 or 3 lessons in 1 month as a trial month. And the reason why I say that is that people, and this is, I think, very general, they show you who they are very quickly. So if your student is canceling on you within within the first month, that's an indication that they're not serious, or their job is just too demanding, they can't meet you, which is going to affect how you're able to make money from that student. So if they're being flaky, then you can cut them off. Okay, then what I also like to do in the first month, I talk about this in my book. Normally I state here that I don't give out the documents that I create. However, I've changed that a lot now because I have workbooks. I can give them to my students, but they have to pay for them. Before, I was creating them and not charging my students, and I didn't think it was fair for them to get, you know, these documents that I created if they weren't going to continue to take my class. But now I feel a little bit different. If you have workbooks you've already created, there's nothing wrong with them having to purchase that. It just depends where you're at in this situation. Okay, and then I talk about the 6 month. No, not 6, excuse me, 3 month. So at the 3 month mark, I wrote in my book that I will give them the documents that I have created. But once again, like I said, I have my own workbooks now that they can purchase. So you'll have to be a judge of character. If you don't have your own documents, what you could do is use others. I mean, that's what I think a lot of teachers do. We kind of borrow from each other. You could always use somebody else's material for the first month, and then at the 3 month mark, if you're able to create your own documents, and this also took me a while to do as well, because before I was a private English teacher, I usually just taught children, and I could make children documents very easy, but for adults, that's like a little bit challenging. All right, so these are the steps you need to follow in chapter 4. Sorry that was lengthy, but I wrote a lot about it in this book. But anyways, if you have any questions, please contact me and let me see how I can help you. Bye.